This might be Am I the only one looking forward to the debate tonight? I'm
Yes.
like legit,
Yeah.
like
Age of Mythology came out, brother.
this is
I
like
gotta
a
find
big
that
event.
plushie toy.
I've been counting down days, like, oh, it's coming. I can't wait to see it. I don't know how it's going to go. You hope that like the prosecutor beats the 78-year-old handily, but Trump's been in a lot of debates, and I don't remember him ever getting trounced like Biden did.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have that like desire in him anymore, like he used to. Like, I could see him just kind of phoning it in. I don't know.
He has an ability to like spew gobbledygook with confidence, and at least half of America doesn't see it as gobbledygook, and that's one of his superpowers.
Yeah, we'll see. I would not be surprised if Harris won the debate.
Yeah, she'll win on paper. Probably it's the most likely outcome.
Right.
I mean, the media will probably side with her. If it's close at all, they're going to say Harris won. But
I can't recall the last debate that was like mind changing outside of the most recent one, Biden Trump.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people abandoned Biden.
That's an outlier.
Because But take all the Trump Hillary debates, all the Trump Biden debates. I feel like they didn't move the needle at all.
JFK Nixon.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. But the Obama Mitt Romney debates, I don't know that they really moved the needle.
I don't know. Every time Obama got to speak, don't let him talk, and we'll be fine.
That one's on the other side for me. Like, so when I see Trump speak, I don't see the magic everybody else does. And when I saw Obama speak, I was like, would you pick up the pace a little bit? All these unnecessary pauses, they're not working for me. Make your point like coherently and quickly, please. But everybody else thought he was a master.
I agree with you, actually. Like, his cadence was too slow, and it was too it was almost self-indulgent at times.
Yeah. Or what is the pro wrestling term? Like when you fall for your own mark. I'm messing it up.
Oh, I know the concept you're putting forth, but I don't know
anyways, I think he started drinking his own Kool-Aid and people love it when I
that was his downfall.
Tons of unnecessary pauses. So now I will double down on that, and it's like, bro, stop.
Pick it up.
The most beloved politician in American history.
The what?
Say that again.
He might be the most beloved politician and president in like modern American history. Like there's a lot of tarnish on them Clintons these days.
He's incredibly polarizing. I wouldn't say that. I'd say like some mealy mouthed who gives a fuck guy like Jimmy Carter would probably be the because no one gives a dude. Are you talking about like overall or like now in this moment?
I mean,
I think he means now.
Certainly right now.
The now, someone like him who's so far back and like people don't even remember. That's the way it goes. Like the same way they try and rehabilitate Bush now, where they're like, he's just like a silly Billy. He's just a goober. Look at him hugging Michelle Obama.
I might be falling for it because like if we talk about who they are now, right? Who's Jimmy Carter? Is he dead?
No.
He's still kicking.
Almost 100 or something like that.
Because it's any day now.
He said he's hanging in there to vote for Harris.
Right? Like, I know he might have been alive an hour ago, but it's 50-50 now. but anyway, Jimmy Carter for the last, I'll call it 20 years, has been the Habitat for Humanity guy. Right? I don't even really know his presidential record very well. It was George W. Bush. Well, he's apolitical now. You can't get him to choose between Trump and Harris right now. He won't render an opinion. And he's just like, listen, that's kind of my previous life. I'm a painter now.
And he's in a pretty good one, as we've seen here. Very talented man.
Light years better than me. Obama is one of the more popular guys right now. I think even the right would give him like a 20-30% approval rating, which is pretty good from the other side.
I definitely.
But we'll see. Anyways, I'm excited about the debates tonight. I don't know how it's going to be graded, how it's going to go, if Harris is going to have any big gotcha moments. I think from Harris's side, she just needs to appear confident and strong, because I grade these things on who best articulates their policy positions and do I like them, but I think the world grades them on who had the right vibe. And Harris needs to do the strong leadership thing, and Trump needs to do the stable genius thing. Not the joke, but like the actual. He needs to look stable and together and not crazy. I want to see the handshake. They've never met before.
Daps her up.
Yeah. I wonder, like, is Trump going to wear heels? They have rules against. I think Harris wanted to stand on a platform, so they had the same height. And the Trump's team was like, "Nah, you can't have that. You know, you are who you are. You're gonna
okay, no. I'd say okay. Sounds good to me. I'd bring my own platform though. I'd bring one too. It's like, look, and she'd step on up to 6 feet even. And I'd step on up to 7'4".
Like, I'm standing on the Constitution. It's actually a very small book. Didn't realize it. It's just like not any taller at all.
Shows up with the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, it's 1 page.
So I had to get 55 copies of it instead. Yeah, no, that's almost like, I feel like a misplay optically from Trump. Like, she would you look like a goober standing on a platform. Like a woman would. It would look silly. It'd look like a child doing like
don't fall.
A lot of debates have had platforms.
Don't fall.
Yeah, a lot of debates have had platforms. So on TV, you look like parallel. Obviously, there's the step up. There's that moment you're talking about. But after that, they look the same. If she looks like a child in front of I don't know the difference between a lectern and a podium, but if she looks like a child where it's like up to her neck and he looks like a man, that'd be a good look for him. We'll see.
Is she really small?
I don't think so, no. But compared to him, he's just a much bigger person.
Just how tall is she? Throw me a Kamala Harris height bet.
5'6".
Oh, okay, a bet. I'm gonna bet she's tall because she's, in politics Indian? And whatever.
Kyle locked in 5'6".
I love 5'6", but given that it's taken, I'm gonna say 5'7".
5'4".
Ooh, yeah, I would have gone down instead of up. Yeah.
Well, I made a mistake. Yeah.
My mom is 5'4". Tiny. I know
my mom's 5'4".
I know a girl who's 5 flat, and it's like you're barely an adult. Like she's like, yeah, no shit. You saw my ID.
Like, my mom was like 5'9".
Really?
Very tall.
Yeah. My wife is 5'7", so that has just become normal woman's height to me, even though I think it's way above average.
Definitely. I think regular or average height in America for a woman's like 5'3", 5'4", right around there.
I would have said 4. I'll Google it.
Jesus, your ex-wife was 5'11", Zach, and you're tall. Man, those kids are going to be just beanstalks.
just beanstalks. Tall.
Taylor, did you say 5'3" or 5'4"?
Yeah, that would be my guess.
It's 5'3.5". So
there we go.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I really thought on the other day that Biden was gonna stay in this thing and gonna be there all the way. He had been so forceful about it for one thing. Oh, she's the worst though. She's so much worse.
Dude, she is crushing it. She did a rally and they had to reschedule the rally to not reschedule, but move it to a place that could handle the bigger crowd. The crowd is going nuts, like a 2016 Trump crowd. She has this line that she keeps repeating about how, when she was a prosecutor, she took on these for-profit colleges that ripped off their students, and Donald Trump paid $25 million in fines for his rip-off for-profit college. When she was a prosecutor, she took on people who cheated the system for their own benefit. Donald Trump has 34 felony convictions for cheating the system for his own benefit. When she was a prosecutor, she took on, she specialized in sexual abusers. And she says, I know people like Donald Trump, and I've beaten people like Donald Trump before. And the crowd goes ballistic. She's killing it. The internet's filled with coconuts because of her silly little coconuts thing. I don't know what it's like. They turned a negative to a positive because that coconut thing is objectively silly.
Don't even know what you're talking about. You really
you will. You're going to see coconut merch. You're going to see coconuts everywhere. It means Kamala, and she is crushing it. And
rally. From like 4-6 hours ago.
Where it was? Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a pretty full high school gymnasium. Saying this is like on par with
mic drop. Actually, Trump's not
2016 Trump was 2016 Trump was like Metallica.
This week he filled a sports stadium.
Listen, I'm telling the story. Stop it. It's not the way I want to.
Dude, they're trying so hard to make Kamala cool.
Did she flex on all the marijuana prosecutions?
Trump. She's winning in every national poll right now. At least the new ones. If you drag out the ones that lasted like 2 weeks or the ones from before, she was really the person, because people were divided. Some wanted Kamala, half dozens of us wanted Buttigieg. Some people wanted Cooper. Some people wanted Kelly. I forget the other names.
Whitmer, Newsom.
Whitmer's a big one. Newsom's a big one. Yeah.
I'd rather have The Rock than some of those people.
Now, oh my gosh, dude, it's Kamala crazy on the internet, and Donald Trump. Oh, he's hilarious to watch right now with his boomer Karen energy, complaining. I'd like to see a manager. I want refunds on all the effort I put into Dark Brandon.
He's in his own universe.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not. You're in your own world on this.
You guys are in your own world. The Reuters poll. What Reuters is not like.
Well, you're fired up about it. That's all that matters.
Reuters is the premier unbiased news organization, right? No one calls them biased.
Who?
And they said Kamala's leading in the polls right now. So I'm loving it. There's a whole new coat of paint on the Democrat. It has been no fun to be Team Blue for like 3 weeks. I'm trying to think. It started at debates, right? At the debates, Trump had a much better debate than Biden did. And then it was just all Trump all the time for 3 weeks, probably peaking at when he got his ear pierced by the fellow Republican, grabbed his high heels and ran off stage. But
I see.
Then the best thing, like the first piece of good news for the Democratic team was when Trump took the stage and he had this meandering ramble, 90 minutes of debate.
And all those independent Democrats heard that and they were like, and then the Republicans heard it and they were like, I'm voting for a woman.
That was the first piece of good news that the Democrats had, Trump taking the stage.
You say that, but think about what you're saying. Why would that help the Democrats if Donald Trump has a bad speech? Who from the right is going to say it was anyone who's tuned in and watching 90 minutes of an RNC speech with Donald Trump? They're not looking to be swayed. They're members of the cult. They're in the choir.
There's hardly anyone looking to be swayed.
That was a long one. Can you believe?
When Trump gets the opportunity, this is like a State of the Union for a candidate, right? This is his opportunity to get some eyeballs on him. Democrats are watching him. I did. Republicans are watching him for sure. The idea that the only people watching him are unpersuadable.
It was 90 minutes.
Is off target. It was boring. It was the longest speech in the history of any nomination for since the 60s ever. I don't know. It was terrible. It was long and it was meandering and it had all the energy of the Beach Boys singing California Girls for the 3,000th time. And it was all his same like complaints about elections being stolen and filled with lies, the standard Trump lies he always tells that aren't supposed to be lies, right? They're kind of like jokes, I think. Yeah, so Trump didn't do himself any favors at the RNC. And you can't find anyone who says he did. It has finally been fun.
Well, I'm glad you guys won. I'm happy for you.
I'm glad we went to 200. I'm psyched.
Yeah, I think I'm still pretty confident here. It just doesn't.
Me too.
I think she's got. Are you mad at me or something?
No, I'm not mad at all. I swear.
You're being rude.
That's probably true. Sorry.
You're like jumping in on the tail of like my words with are you like you want to fight or something.
I said me too. I mean, you said I'm glad. I said me too. That's kind of hitting it back. It's not
okay.
Jumping.
Well, I know it's been rough for you guys for a while. I think that Kamala is a terrible candidate. I think there's a reason that she got trounced in that primary process back in whatever year it was when her and Tulsi and Joe were on stage and they're trying to see who's the most racist amongst those three. And Kamala's calling Joe a racist and Tulsi's calling Kamala a racist. And it's ridiculous. I don't think she's a good candidate. I see the framing from the left is that Donald is running from a debate with her or when they see that,
Macy's done it.
Yeah. Or they made fun of, Trump's VP Vance because he said he was upset that he wasn't going to get to debate her. It's like, why are you making fun of him? He was going to debate her and now he's not. You're going to have this like really well-spoken guy talk to someone who has trouble with sentences and, talking to people. Every speech I've ever seen from her was pretty rough. I remember that Space Force addressal or whatever you want to call it. Like that was crazy.
Space affects us all.
I remember when she was talking there was a school bus behind her. I don't know who she was talking to. It's possible she was talking to like preschool kids. And if that's the case, then she nailed it.
No, that was MIT.
She's like, who doesn't love a big yellow school bus?
Dude, I think she's had some klutzy things. The coconut thing, which I'm sure you'll get exposed to soon, to me was lame. The montage of today unbeholden by
unburdened by today from yesterday's sorrow.
I get it. I don't like that one. I think she thinks it's clever, but I don't think you'll see her say it again. But today's thing, she's killed. People are taking snippets of it. They're going viral on the internet. Everyone's excited. Not everyone, of course.
She has bad cadence. Like the speeches I've watched from her cadence is very bad, and she puts the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable in the way she's speaking, and does a very insincere Hillary Clinton-esque panic laugh way too often. And so I agree that, dude, the Democrats have so many better people. And like Kamala, she just sucks. She doesn't inspire. There's a reason they kept her, under a blanket the past 4 years. She doesn't pull well with people.
She's been working on the border, Taylor. That was her.
I think what happens is the blue team is thirsty for someone, and they gave her Kamala, and they're excited. I agree that I don't know about the cadence thing. That's how I see Trump. Donald Trump is always doing this sing-songy, like wavy up and down cadence thing that I find unappealing, but some people love it. I can't ignore that. He's popular with less than half the nation, but almost half. But Kamala, I don't see the cadence thing. I do see the laugh thing. Trump's first nickname for her was Laughing Harris.
Laughing Kamala.
No, Laughing Harris. And I'm like, cackling Kamala was right there, right? And he went with Laughing Harris. I think you're losing your branding, dude. But are
they going to debate? Or
Trump has twice said he doesn't want to. He thinks ABC's not fair, that he wants to have it on Fox. Fox, for the record, spent almost $1 billion in fines for lies on Trump's benefit. So, like, that's
CNN gave the questions to Hillary, and Trump went into the lion's den,
and it's not on CNN. It's ABC.
CNN. I know, but I'm just saying, like these. Trump's had it the same way. Trump's been cheated through these things as well. And Trump did the last debate, like going into the lion's den in a format that we all sat here and we're like, oh my God, he's ruined. They're going to make him actually talk. They're not going to let him interrupt and joust. And he went in there and destroyed and won. And in the most landslided, lopsided presidential debate in presidential history. And he's like, all right, won that one. And they're like, hey, you beat our guy so bad he died almost. So we've got a backup guy, though. Don't worry. And same rules, right? He's like, no. Now we'll come play at my house. Look, I like it. I don't think that it's him running away or being cowardice.
It's so weak. He wants to go to Fox News because he's scared of the rules he already agreed to. It looks like President Pussy Pants. Like I see that a lot from him, but he's just trying to
get out of this. No, debate. Remember,
I'm not sure
they'll former president.
Oh, I'm sorry, former
Poopy Pants. Yeah, your visceral hatred of him is so boundless that like I don't know if you can interpret anything he does without being very negative about it. Like
I hear you, but like to me, I'm seeing him for what he is, right? Like, dude, the Epstein phone logs didn't change anybody's mind. Like at this point, I keep saying it. Trump was like, he's going to hand over Ukraine to Russia at this point, which I know Taylor likes, but it's against my moral code.
A lot of people do want us out of that war.
Yeah, I don't.
For sure.
I don't like a lot of things about Trump, but I do absolutely despise all the things about, the other side. And a lot of the people who are so pretentiously like shoot him down and call anyone who supports him worthy of death loon who's a deplorable or whatever, like the way they painted his supporters with one brush. And you're going to have a hard time getting me on board with a marijuana prosecutor who sent 1,500 people to prison for marijuana crimes. And then when when they asked her if she smoked marijuana, she giggled and laughed about it. Someone who had someone sitting on death row and had evidence that clearly they were innocent and waited till her hand was forced to let them out of prison.
I get you. I don't like that marijuana prosecution thing, but I mean, marijuana prosecution was like going away under Obama, and Trump brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to consider that his strength.
It's what she does, though. It's her bread and butter. Like it was her thing. So it's a whole different scenario. And also, like Trump's just, if anything, he's sticking with his ideals with any sort of marijuana policy he has. He's straight edge over there. I mean, he's got his cold pills, but he doesn't drink and he doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't smoke weed. He's definitely not cool enough to smoke weed.
I think he doesn't smoke weed because he likes to look down on it. Maybe like that's my vibe for Trump. Like and Or maybe he does. I think it's maybe just straight edge, like a health thing, perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to see him as a health nut, but there's a reason he doesn't smoke and drink, and I just have to bundle marijuana into the same sort of line of thinking.
Maybe.
Which is not a hate thing at all.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm concerned about Joe. Where is Joe? I want to know how he's doing and how he's running the country right now and keeping us all safe. How is the federal government being led by
he's not
right now?
Dude,
yeah, they haven't been running the country for years, dude. Everyone knows this now.
I'm thrilled with the way the country's being run. Like, I genuinely am. I saw Pete Buttigieg tweet. So there was that freaking CrowdStrike thing, and Delta Airlines was having trouble. Buttigieg gets on the air. We have received reports of continued disruptions and unacceptable customer service conditions at Delta. Delta must provide prompt refunds to consumers who choose not to take rebooking, free rebooking for those who do, and timely reimbursements for food and hotel stays to consumers affected by these delays and cancellations, as well as adequate customer service. No one should be stranded at an airport overnight or stuck on hold for hours waiting to talk to a customer service agent. If any airline fails to honor its customer service requirements, let us know. He gives a URL to contact the government. This didn't exist before the Biden administration. And that was the end of it. Or maybe they give you like free miles at best, some future flight, to get you to take their thing again, probably that you have to upgrade. Now, consumer service has been fixed at airlines. Airlines are the people who pay for their mistakes. That's how the country's being run.
Although all the airlines were all shut down at once, that's the whole reason that refunds were a problem. So like none of the planes were moving, but don't worry, we'll get you a refund on time and it'll be cash.
It didn't used to be. It used to be the consumers got screwed.
Oh, I'm aware. I remember when Biden signed the order or whatever. It's only been a couple months. It feels like
this is like such it's a good thing, but it's the teeniest, tiniest little thing to like hang your hat on as far as like how the country's going.
I'm looking for big policy, large things.
I like his infrastructure to be able.
I like his infrastructure stuff. I like his infrastructure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he did something about the lead in the pipes, which it's like, why do we have lead in our pipes in this country? God damn you people! Like, okay, maybe one less Spirit bomber, okay? One less, and we fix all the lead in the pipes.
What's a Spirit bomber?
Probably some absurdly expensive military thing.
What is the B-2 Spirit, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One less $1 billion plane. I think those are $2 billion. Jesus, I think those are $2 billion planes. The new ones, a B-21 or something like that. Let's get the lead out of the pipes. So, like, I like to hear stuff like that. But I really don't like that border thing. What are these polls? Because I saw the Reddit headline. 2 more
came out today.
I saw the Reddit headline like Kamala's leading in the national polls, and then I go right back to 538, and it's in so many pages of him.
That's interesting because on 538 they literally just like turned it off and said that they're not going to do it again until after the nomination. Did it change? Well, I'll go.
They turned polling off.
It says forecast suspended on 538.
Why did they do that?
Because they don't have a nominee for the Democratic Party.
Oh, I thought it was almost like foregone conclusion.
It is, but that's what the words say on 538.
It almost reminds me of the George Bush, read my lips, no new taxes. And then like a few moments later.
That's your example of like, I knew it wouldn't change. Because we did get taxes.
No, no, it's my example of someone like saying I'm going to do a thing like very forcefully and clearly, and like literally saying read my lips, and then a week later it's like, well, actually, turns out that I'm not capable of running for president again. I'm good to run the place now, though. Don't worry about me. Wait, where have you been for 5 days? Don't worry about me. Someone sent a signed piece of paper that said, dude, we would be if our uncle or something like sent us a letter like that. If someone just showed up and was like, hey, your uncle's selling the place, just so you know, he signed here, we'd be like, I'm going to need to see him. I don't know you. Yeah. I'm going to need to hear from Uncle Bernie.
Wait, Uncle Bernie, are you selling 81? Yeah, I need to see little.
You're telling me my Uncle Bernie, who's 81, is selling his house, and all I have to go on is this piece of paper signed by him. I don't know. I'm gonna need to see Uncle Bernie and hear from him about all this.
You got to get a look at Joe. I mean, he's just. I think he came out today, right? He was Burns handing around an airplane tarmac.
Was he?
I think. I don't think he's been seen for 5 days.
Yeah. I'm definitely not saying it wrong. I was AFK all day.
Oh, okay. May have been an older video. I thought it was from today, but either way, I don't.
He did have dark hair.
He had dark hair. Not in the video I saw. He had white old man hair.
He had hair? This is a step up. He barely has hair.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Kyle, is you've got a number of big against the odds predictions up in the air right now. And so losing this little minor one, not a big deal. You could still get the Trump call from like a year ago. A year plus ago, I think, is when you made.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've got the Trump call down. Like the fact that they're just gonna choose Kamala to be the candidate, coronate her, if you will. It's all over. Like it's all over.
Kamala, with like
apparently, you know what's funny about the pronunciation of Harris's first name? I know that it's Kamala because you like a comma punctuation point la, but Joe Biden says it the way I say it, and he's the one I've always listened to. I found a montage of Joe Biden saying her name like I say it next to her, and then look, not trying to get political here, but can you imagine being the vice president and the little bit too old president can't get your name right on the stage in front of everybody when you're really trying to be all you can be up here and like look like a pro team? That would upset me. Like if me and you, what does he call if the three of us went somewhere, he calls her Kamala. No, Kamala. He says it Kamala.
Dude, honestly, I say that too.
Her name is a little bit like the they pronouns, they them pronouns, and by that I mean like it's kind of hard to get right. And some people get it right, some people get it wrong because it's an honest accident, and some people get it wrong because they're trying to other her. Right? On Fox News, Donald Trump, they intentionally mispronounce her name. Right? Donald Trump calls her Kamala, right? With a B slips in there.
Where's the B slip in? I didn't hear it.
It's near the end.
Kamala?
It's Kamabala, he writes. It's on Truth Social. Like it's not an accident.
It has like aphasia or something.
And he said it in no.
He's an asshole.
He says it in person. He says it at the rallies, and he types it on.
Oh, is he trying? He's trying to
make her sound exotic and foreign,
like Kama blah blah blah.
Like Barack Hussein Obama is what he's trying to do. He's doing a Barack Hussein Obama.
He's trying to other her.
But I think I just thought it was hilarious that Joe was because that's where because when I mispronounce her name, it's because that's how I've heard it, or at least that's how I hear it in my head.
At the DNC.
What I'm really doing is I spell it when I say words. I picture the letters in my head and I read them out loud. That's what I'm doing.
At the DNC right now, obviously, overwhelmingly, they're saying Kamala's name right, but they got it wrong 3 times. So, like, it's a thing that well-meaning
because it literally sounds better. Like when you see it, Kamala, like that sounds more normal.
Like it's easier. It's certainly easier for American accents or English language.
It sounds more direct and more hard. Like Kamala. It sounds like a wrestling move or a judo.
Kamala.
But at this point, if you're mispronouncing it all the time on purpose, you're kind of an asshole, right?
I couldn't care less about the pronunciation of.
But it's a way to other her. It's a way to I don't know, just not accept who she is.
Oh, is it going to make Kamala Harris feel othered? Who cares? They called him Trump for years, and it was also mindset. It was also like
they call him orange. They make fun of his spray tan. Years. It's mean,
and that's also like who cares?
They? Are we talking about the hosts on CNN, MSNBC, ABC,
literally,
CBS?
Yeah,
Trump. They call him. No,
yes.
John
That's
Oliver
more
calls him Trump.
It's like a Reddit thing.
I watch
like 6 times more
news than you do, and they don't call him Trump.
No, we're way past that now. I'm saying back like 2016. 2020, that was a very common thing. I don't care about Trump, a billionaire, having his name messed up a little bit. Like I don't care about that. That's ridiculous.
He cares about that a lot.
If he does, then I don't care that he cares.
You see, I saw they were giving that kid a hard time because he cried at the DNC. I didn't watch any of the DNC, but I guess what happened is the Kamala's vice president's son got up there and spoke, and I guess this little puffy fellow has a learning disability.
A non-verbal autistic.
No. He didn't speak. He was in the crowd watching his father speak. He's non-verbal, and I guess he cried and said, "That's my dad," which is weird on the non-verbal thing. I don't know what his disability
what does that mean?
I think it means like non-conversational, and he has ADHD. He's somewhere on
it means he couldn't have a podcast.
Mental health spectrum.
It really sits there like a lump on the log.
He's neurodivergent in at least 2 ways.
ADHD is like that's so like that.
But obviously,
but like non-verbal, that's not an ADHD thing. It's clearly something different, right?
Anyway, the kid The kid was all like cry face. He was ugly crying, and he was yelling, "That's my dad" or whatever, and they're giving a hard time on the internet.
You shouldn't give mentally challenged kids a hard time.
Yeah, I don't like that. But they didn't know. They didn't. Here's what I saw. I saw a Twitter interaction. I don't know the names, but apparently they're important people. But one guy was making fun of the kid, and the other person's like, "Hey, actually, he's got a learning disability, and also this, that, and the other." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Are we good?" And it's like, no, we're never going to be good now. It's like, why can't we? Why? He didn't know.
Okay, if they were being bullies and then they realized and then they stopped.
My dumbass watches calls for Biden to step down 4 hours a day.
Dude, okay, and that's my new kick. If I'm being honest, I didn't want to go there this early in the show, but let me just tell you, I have never in my entire life, I've always enjoyed watching CNN and Fox News, even as a kid for whatever reason. Like when I was in high school, I dug it. I liked cable news. I found it fun to watch. Okay. And so, but I always saw that there was the blue team and the red team, and if something crazy happens, you can't defend, but like for the most part, there's the blue team and the red team. And then, oh my God, to see the entire media hammering Biden over this stuff. I saw in his interview where I think he said, I got to do gooder. He said, I have to do gooder or something than him to win the election and know that I tried my best. Yeah. And it was like the White House contacts ABC or CBS or whoever it is and says, "Hey, our stenographers actually had not gooder but good as. Is that what you had?" And they're like, "No, we heard gooder." Weird. Could you make the correction to fix the incongruency there?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I saw the most baffled and confused sign language interpreter of my life. Like just hold on to the thread trying to.
And worse than that, because somebody got fired over this thing they did this week. Biden calls into a black radio station where they've already passed the questions off in secret beforehand for the interview. He still bombs. He still sounds crazy. And they fire the radio host for giving the questions beforehand. And, he got found out. It's been, and he's not done. He's going on for an interview with Lester Holt like this week. So he's doing another one of these.
It started an hour ago. I don't know how long it is.
Oh, yeah. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. Wait, tonight? Kyle, if he did it later tonight, it'd be past 8 p.m. and we got a sleepy president.
No, okay. Can I give you a spoiler?
Let's spoil it.
Spoil it.
Apparently, he calls Zelensky Putin. This thing.
I mean, there's only two big guys over there. Mix them up, and they sound similar.
That might have been the NATO summit. I might be mixing it up with the thing, but he does do that. At this point, they're hard scope. It's not even fair, right? You can hard scope a Trump thing and find things he says wrong or get whatever. But if you listen to all 90 minutes of it, it's basically coherent. He's up there riffing in the heat. Trump has lots of flaws, but his decline is not the same as Biden's. Yeah. There is no both.
Yeah.
Physically, it's so bad.
Different there too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you watch that 5-minute video I sent in the WhatsApp where the Parkinson's disease specialist?
I saw it independently of that already. So
you had seen it?
I think Megyn Kelly had it on her show. Like she played it in its entirety. Where the doctor's like ranting, "I guarantee it's Parkinson's. I stake my reputation." This is also Boogie's doctor.
Boogie's brother. He's wearing a lot of hats right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said something that burned into my mind, which was like, I could diagnose this guy from across the mall. And I heard that and I was like, what? No, you can't. And then I thought about it. And I wrote this in the WhatsApp too. If you show me a guy swimming for 3 strokes, I can tell you how good a swimmer he is without any doubt. And I'm like, I bet Taylor can look at a guy's wrist shot and probably semi-accurately predict what level of hockey he played at just by looking at the wrist shot. Give him 2 shots and skate from blue line to blue line, and Taylor will tell you what this guy can offer. And like, if you have any like movement expertise, you can do that pretty quickly. I can do it with grappling a little bit. This guy, it completely makes sense that he could spot Parkinson's. He does this for a living. He's a medical doctor who specializes in Parkinson's. And he's like, it is clear as day by the way that he pivots, by the way that he drifts off at the end of his sentence, by the way that he takes that short shuffle gait, by the way that he walks without swinging his arms. He's like, he has no doubt. And he's a Democrat who's doing all this. And I was like, man, I believe him. And I kind of feel like our government is doing, and I'm just echoing what he said, a thing that North Korea would do or that Russia would do, right? When Russia invaded Crimea, it just flat out denied that those were their soldiers. Like, oh, this little green man who like came in there and took over Crimea. We know nothing about it. Yeah, could be anyone, right? Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like we're adjacent to that. Biden, Parkinson's? That sounds wild. Why would you say that?
It's been a emperor has no clothes period for the past few years, where for a lot of people have been like, this dude is not with it. This guy is clearly not at 100%. He's diminished severely.
They successfully hit him, and then he did well at the State of the Union.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
I give myself a little sympathy for, pushing back against the Fox Newses who just kept saying he was losing it, when really he was hidden in a bunker.
No, what I saw is what you saw, Woody. So obviously, and I'm going back to State of the Union. This is where my mind was after watching the State of the Union, which 9 months ago now, maybe something like that. Maybe not even that.
Less, I think, but I'm not sure.
I thought, okay, Biden is an old man who needs a nap during the day and gets groggy and his worst times. And I bet if any third aggravator got involved with old and sleepy, then he'd look a little loony. Like if you added cold medicine or you added like a day where he didn't get his nap. Like I can imagine, jet lag. And I'm imagining him with a real presidential workload as it's been described to me my entire life, is this crack of dawn, late nights all the time kind of thing that ages you 10 years and 4. So I'm just assuming he's doing that. I'm thinking, yeah, but today he got his fucking nap in. He's strong. His voice is strong. He looks strong.
Were you
yes,
really
this is
convinced that because I have
the State of the Union. Yeah, he was powerful. Like
many of us have been saying for years that it's been bananas to believe that he's like waking up early and working and like staying up late and working. Like he's been diminished and allowing surrogates to run the country for years. Like he's just been a figurehead who they parade out once in a while, and they hope he doesn't have a catastrophic failure where he falls all over himself or drifts away in mid-sentence. Like, I feel like it's been clear for a long time that he has not been running the show.
I don't know about that. I'm sure he's making. This last week or two has really caused me to need to reevaluate what I think, I suppose, because it's hard to tell. I thought that it was old man who's sleepy and groggy sometimes, but clearly when he needs to turn it on, like tonight at the State of the Union, he can do it. Therefore, I imagine when he needs to turn it on for a trade deal or a big board meeting or whatever you call it, when you get the Joint Chiefs of Staff together or a policy negotiation, he gets his naps in on those days too. And so, in essence, he's there when they really need him. The rest of the time, it's on autopilot. And I'm fine with that. But now I'm wondering, he seems like one of those old guys who has good days and bad days, and he's getting more bad days, rapidly having more bad days than good days here at the tail end of this presidency. And it's like, how long has it been like that? Like how many awful days have there been? Have there been days where he didn't get out of bed? Have there been days where he completely couldn't follow a conversation, and so we just adjourned the meeting and held it, down the hallway with the chief of staff? Like, how bad has this been for how long?
Kyle, you're whatever Earth God for right now. You get to choose the next Democrat, like who should be running instead of Biden.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know if I asked the question well, but I hope you.
No, you did. Yeah, like I want the Democratic Party to win, if I want the DNC to win.
Yeah, you're trying to help them.
Okay, so first of all, I heard I'm gonna steal this from Megyn Kelly. I have Barack, Michelle, Hillary, and Bill go to the White House and meet Joe. And they say, Joe, it's noon. Good morning. And in 1 hour, there's a press conference out there in the Rose Garden. The press is assembled. But anyway, they come in and he's lucid because it's noon and they inject him or whatever it takes. And they would say, hey, there's a press conference in an hour. Either you're going out there or we are. They're assembled. You can either tell, let us fucking... go out on your shield here, like for the good of the party. Like, here's your speech. We had it written by our guy who knows how to write speeches, and that would work. He'd have to give up, because if you had those four go out there and have a press conference and say it's in the national interest of the 25th Amendment is employed here because our friend, our colleague, our family, our brother, like kiss his ass as much as you can, but say he can't hack it anymore and kick him out of the job. But once you do that, I said this yesterday because it just kind of popped into my head, but it's Al Gore. I know. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Al Gore is from the time of stability and prosperity, and he was there when the coin flipped heads, when it could have flipped tails, when there was like 500 votes in one county in Florida, and he could have been George Bush on 9/11 and saved trillions of dollars and not invaded multiple countries. There's alternate universes where Al Gore was the president for those 8 years, and I think it's a better fucking place. But I kind of still see that in him. And not only do I see all that, I see that he kind of grew a sense of humor in the last 25 years.
He's 76 now. For all I know, he's
spring chicken. Yeah.
Is he still jetting around saving the world? To me, I kind of want a name I know, but I want somebody that feels safe. I don't think that Gavin Newsom guy can win, a national race. I think it has to be Kamala. If I'm trying to win and I'm not allowed to make some sort of wacky, like Michelle Obama and Al Gore type mix, like that's what I'd want probably, by the way, is like Michelle Obama and Al Gore, something like some kind of mix of them would be, I think, the strongest wacky pick. But she's already said she doesn't want it. And but
I'm sorry, I'll keep going.
But Kamala, it has to be Kamala, because I heard some political legal jargon about how if Joe were to step down and allow Kamala to be president, and then she's the incumbent, it checks off more of these boxes that these 13 keys to the White House or something like that you need X amount of, making her the Kamala.
Like the punctuation, Kamala.
I'm okay with being disrespectful to Kamala. Okay. That's how it rolls off my tongue. I was trying to correct
you privately, so nobody knew.
I don't care. I don't care.
Well, okay.
Kamala? Is it Kamala?
Kamala.
It's what you just said. It's what you said, Kyle. I think you got it right.
Kamala. If she were the incumbent, it seems like she has a pretty good shot as well, because they explained how something about his campaign funds could directly be transferred to her if she became the incumbent. And I didn't really pay too much attention.
She's so unpopular. Like, she's got less of a chance than fucking a dead Joe Biden.
I think the DEI criticism of her will hit hard, right? I remember when before he picked her, he's like, I'm going to limit my choices for VP to just women. And I'm like, that feels yucky to me, right? He didn't say he's going to pick the best person who could be president in case something happens to him. He said he's going to pick the best woman. And then he chose Kamala. And I don't hate Kamala like everybody else does, but I do acknowledge everybody else does. Therefore, there's something going on that matters. Yeah. And I like Newsom. The reason I like Newsom is I thought he absolutely butt-fucked DeSantis in their debate. And DeSantis, I think, is better than Trump at it. Like, if Newsom were to go up there, he would make Trump look bad in the next debate, and everyone would be like, we got our guy. I think that's how it would play out. But for reasons I don't fully understand, only Kamala is able to inherit Biden's like fundraising, ground game, and all that stuff.
Maybe that's true, but Kamala just has too much of that like Hillary Clinton energy of like, she's so apparent in her insincerity and the way she's just fake from top to bottom.
So she says a thing. You guys have probably seen the viral video where she's like, we need to overlook what has been and look at what can be. I messed that up, but I'm close.
Like that,
yeah. And I mentioned that to my wife. I even showed her the video, and she's like, well, Trump says build the wall again and again. Trump says lock her up again and again. Why does Trump get to repeat the same lines? But for her, it's insincerity. And I'm like, actually, I don't have an answer, but it is viewed differently. People see it through different
lenses. Well, it's because one of them is, albeit ham-handed in its delivery, a policy prescription. Build the wall. Like, he's saying something he wants to do, or he pretends to want.
The man sells slogans.
Fight for. He sells like what Kamala's doing is acting as though she has come up with a phrase organically at the end of a statement, and then adding it in as like a little addendum. And it's like someone told her to say that, or like beforehand they were like, hey, this little line, this tested big.
Well, she came up with it. Who knows? She's not dumb.
Are you riding with Biden though?
Me?
No, I don't think so.
I only say that because they had like they kept reporters have been hounding Democrat officials this week, literally like chasing them down hallways and stuff. And they were after this guy, and they were like, "Does the entire committee agree? I'm riding with Biden. Does every single member unanimously agree? I'm riding with Biden." 10 times as he walks away from, "I'm riding with Biden."
Not a good answer.
It is a good answer. I mean, like he said where he answered the question. I like that a lot more than dodging. Well, he kind of dodged.
Well, that didn't really answer it. If they're like, so everyone's on your side, I'm riding with Biden. Okay,
okay.
You said it, but everyone is. I'm riding with Biden. Oh, okay. So if it was yes, you would have said yes. Thanks.
Pelosi said something interesting. They're like, "Hey, do you think Biden should step down?" And she's like, "The NATO summit is this week. I think we should put this aside this week." And it's like, that wasn't yes. That was a million miles from yes. Pelosi's like, "Let's break the knives out on Monday."
Pelosi's like, "Well, I'm even older than him somehow."
She already stepped down. So.
Yeah, she did. Dianne Feinstein, did she die?
That was her way of stepping down. Yes,
that was how she stepped down. That's how a lot of these people step down. Yeah, they just age out of life.
They wheeled her corpse into the Senate until her dying days.
That's like during during Trump's first presidency. It was at the end of Obama's. A lot of Democrats were like, "Please, Ruth, please step down," and she's like, "What?" And then she just like dies 2 years into his presidency of being an ancient old woman. Yeah, that's a lot of these people. It turns out once they have power, they really, really don't want to let go of it. Makes sense. It's probably
that
fun.
Was an error. That was an error, and now the country will reap the benefits of that error for years and decades to come.
Yeah, I wonder how different it would be if they had a 5-4 majority instead.
I wonder how much different it's going to be if Trump gets to somehow install another justice.
I don't know if anybody's old enough, are they?
The oldest ones are Alito and Clarence Thomas are the two oldest Supreme Court justices.
Yeah, but what happens to one of those younger guys?
maybe. You don't know.
Trump's America. You never know.
But most likely, Trump just sort of resets the count on what we already have because it's the conservatives that are old.
Do you think in a Trump landslide scenario, he also carries the House and the Senate?
Yes and yes. Yeah, the Senate, I think they're saying they get anyway, even if Biden wins.
Do you know how? Look, I enjoy the guy's jokes, and his hotel properties are fantastic. But do you know how worrisome it is if Donald Trump is the president and he has the Supreme Court and all of Congress?
It's actually a really bad thing.
You know what he's going to do?
He will have a Secretary of Revenge going after people.
I'm not as optimistic about that. I think it would be good for him to give a little bit of what he's been getting for a few years. That'd be entertaining. But what he's going to actually do if he gets elected, I think, and maybe I'm cynical, is he's going to try and do some bullshit olive branch thing, and then he's just going to support Israel harder than anyone we've ever seen. And
that's part of his state. He's pledged to support Israel harder than anyone we've ever seen, which is what he did his first 4 years. So
it's true. Well, it seems to be a trend, but yeah, I don't think he's going to go on a revenge tour the same way. I didn't buy it in 2016 when they're like, he's going to be a dictator forever and he's going to make voting illegal. He's going to do this and that. And then he got in there and he's like, we're going to fucking build a wall. And then they're like, we can't afford it. And he's like, oh, I guess okay.
They arrested him. They drug him to court. They took his rights away. They humiliated him. It's being thrown at him in these debates. He's not happy about that. And then just as soon as they were done rubbing his nose in his mess, Mama came home and said, whoa. Didn't y'all know he's immune? What have y'all done? What have you done? Well, it's a good thing he's not about to be the most powerful man in the world again and have the Supreme Court and all of Congress at his whim. It's a good thing that he doesn't get to decide who the Attorney General is, that he doesn't appoint judges, that he hasn't already appointed judges in many of the districts that you will be tried in for defrauding the American people by hiding this Biden dementia Parkinson's scandal. How long has the hand at the wheel been that of a demented old man? How long were the ICBMs in the control of someone who didn't know what Tuesday was anymore? How
I'm convinced. I need to start supporting Trump and get on his good side.
You gotta get on his good side.
He lets people back in the fold, right? He's already okay with DeSantis. He's gonna be friends with Nikki Haley soon enough.
I do like that. Apparently, Rubio. He won't let that big fatty
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie back in the fold, just throwing insults at him, and like
sideways saying insults. He's the fattest politician. I hate that. I hate to hear people say it. Big fat pig. That's what they say.
Trump is kind of in the middle of his weight range, I'd say. Like he was fatter as president, but he was thinner as a 2016 candidate.
He'll gain his president weight back if he wins.
I've had the honor and privilege of seeing those two men stand side by side in person, and Chris Christie is just a world of fat. Yeah.
I'd love to get a picture with Chris Christie. I imagine how good you'd look in that photo. You know what? I'd be like, Mr. Christie, pop on the Yankees outfit. Like pop on the Yankees pants, and then let's get a couple photos. I'm going to be looking fantastic.
I just heard Trump tell the opposite joke. He was meeting with the Heritage Foundation, the people behind 2025, and he's like, and I took some pictures with them. They're handsome. I'd like you all to destroy those pictures. There's a bunch of good-looking people I took pictures with, and I want those pictures gone.
Yeah, he's got to lose weight then. He's got to keep it off. Can't be eating fucking KFC every day on Air Force One.
You saw them delivering the McDonald's to the court, right?
Yeah, he lives that way. Like
that is the life that I want. That
the McDonald's
being Trump's Secret Service agent must be a creme de la creme position in the agency. They're like, did you hear? Fucking Newtonberry got Trump. What? The residents? No. Fucking body man. He's going everywhere with Trump. He's on the golf course right fucking now. And you know what? Trump makes him drink.
And you know Trump on the golf course, he's just like working on a tight five the whole time. Where he's like, and another thing, folks, get a load of this.
You want to know some secrets? I know lots of stuff. A lot of secrets out there. I know all of them.
I love telling them to random Secret Service agents.
How'd you get into this?
Know about the aliens?
I can't tell you. Can't tell you about the aliens. Wish I could. If they were real, I would. I'll tell you someday.
Like just doing stuff like that. That'd be fun.
I wish he'd do some wild.
And then, like, do you think the Carter guys are like pissed? Where they're like, "This is ridiculous. I trained my whole life to be a Secret Service agent, and they assigned me to a 98-year-old man who hasn't been president since I was -2 years old."
Oh, do they still have people on Carter? Who would hurt that old man?
They must, though, right?
Like the fucking like Gaddafi. Like we got him.
Like his somehow the security
that man's enemies are dead.
It's about maintaining presidential lifestyles. Like it's a kind of way to pay them and support their life forever.
Trump's in war mode. He's got his war paint on these days. He's gone for that like burnt orange. He's dark. When they let shadows cast on him, he's starting to look like very intense. It's like a football player or something.
You just don't understand bodybuilding. This is how we get ready before the big show.
Dude. He's glistening. The last time I saw him, he was very dark, and and he's got a new hair guy. He's got a wartime hair guy. You know, he's got that day-to-day hair person, which might be him. And like you know, but then like when it's game day, he's got that wartime guy who gets him looking right. I heard Melania's at the most recent thing, making an appearance after a while. So that's a good sign for the marriage. If any of you were concerned,
I wasn't concerned, but I also would believe 1,000%, and that's always been my assumption that Trump was a do his own hair style billionaire. Like there's no way that there's a hired person like every morning doing that and making it look as often silly as it looks. Like there's just no way. It's got to be him doing that thing where he's pushing it over and he's like, "Fooled him again, Donald," and then he.
I think it is. I think it is that. I think he's got a guy. But what I'm saying is he's got a wartime guy. Like more recently, it's like he's got a different look about him. Last time I saw a picture of him, again, very burnt orange, auburn almost, and the hair was looking on point.
Auburn, like the university, like their
like their colors, like burnt orange, looking intense.
I saw a picture of Joe a little oranged up.
I saw that was the laugh of the conservative meme subreddit was, you know, there was this meme 6 months ago or something was when it was first posted. And the idea was that Biden was going to start copying Trump. And it was a cartoonized Biden all oranged up. And then they're like, from fiction to fact, boys, look at this. And it's Biden all oranged up in that Stephanopoulos interview. And it's like, holy shit. They put the bronzer on him. I mean, they were good. His bronzer looks way better than Trump's, to be fair. He's got a professional. Somebody did a good job.
Had the raccoon eyes where you could tell.
It was the same person that did the makeup on Guardians of the Galaxy, I heard. Came in there. He's got those Hollywood connections. That? Yeah, George Clooney's guy came in there. George Clooney turning his back on Biden is wild. Some of the stuff that he said in that thing where, like, let's see. He goes on, I'm a lifelong Democrat, no apologies. I'm one of the biggest fundraisers. And then he names all of his accomplishments, pats himself on the back for a while. And he goes, but the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big fucking deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Was he tired? Yeah. A cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw. And he goes on and on about Trump and blah, blah, blah. But like, that's the meat and potatoes of it, if you ask me. And it's like, this is his biggest fundraiser. This is the guy who would love for Joe Biden to do well. Like, if he cares about anything, it's avoiding what I keep talking about, which is Trump's America. It's the Supreme Court, the entire Congress, and Trump being in charge right after you just told him that he's immune from anything he does. And then you prosecuted him before that. It's like it feels like they were poking the bear. When this was down the line, when like you didn't have to kiss his ass, you didn't have to be dishonest. I feel like they antagonized him. I really hope Trump doesn't ruin America next year. I don't think he will, but
he won't.
But you could see why a more vindictive person than we hope he is might.
It's easy to say like, nothing's going to happen. It never does until it does. Like I remember when I was at the time, you guys were both pro-choice. And I was like, Trump's pro-life. And you're both like, that won't change. That won't change at all. They always say that and they never get it done. But then it got done. Mm-hmm. The idea that if Trump wanted to stay in office, his next January 6th would be successful isn't wild to me.
I don't see that happening.